welcome to my reading vlog for May. This is take 2 actually of my reading vlog because I accidentally deleted the first part where I just went over all of the millions of library books I have, and it took me like a good while to go through them, so I'm super pumped to have to film that again. But it is now almost May is done and I have read 4 books thus far in May that I'm going to share with you. So up first I have To Marry and to Meddle by Martha Waters. This is the 3rd book in her To Have and to Hoax, To Love and to Loathe series trilogy. Well, more than a trilogy that she's got going on because there's going to be a 4th one that she just announced. And I did not like To Love and to Loathe. I just remember not liking it. I didn't think the dialogue was good. The story kind of really didn't go anywhere, but one of the good things that it did was it introduced Emily and Julian like as a couple together more, and I was really excited for that coupling potentially to happen. So when I found out that they were going to book next, I was like, I absolutely have to read it. It's about a marriage of convenience that turns out not to be so convenient after all, and I really, really loved it. Like total 180 from the last book that I read by her, and I just love Emily, I love Julian, I love their relationship, and what I really liked about this book that I haven't read in a book in a while is it was like a series of little events and stuff that happened rather than like one big overarching thing. So like they didn't really have a like come together and then a big breakup or anything like that. It was more just like a little series of adventures that they went on. Did someone just crash outside? And that was different and that was really fun, and I super loved it. And I am excited now because she did announce there's going to be a 4th one about Lady Diana's brother Percy, and that's going to be about a woman who pretends her house is haunted, and in this book to scare her husband away, who's Percy. And in this book Percy is still firmly anti-marriage, so I'm excited to see how that's going to change. But yeah, I definitely like this one. It's one of my new favorites and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. After that I read another really good book that I loved called She Gets the Girl, and it's written by wife and wife duo Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. Did you hear that? What is going on with this video? It's super cute. It's dual point of views from these 2 girls, Alex and Molly, and it's their first year at college, and they both have things that they're trying to work on. So Molly is trying to get her crush to notice her, and Alex is trying to prove to her ex-girlfriend, still kind of girlfriend, that she can be friends with people without flirting with them. So Alex gets Molly to agree to have her help her impress her crush and kind of just come out of her shell more and give her lessons, and they start to fall for each other. I was a little nervous picking this up just because I've never read 5 Feet Apart, but I've seen the trailer because anyone who watched Riverdale when it came out saw the trailer because Cole Sprouse was in it, and I know that has a bit of a bittersweet ending, and I am not a fan of bittersweet endings at all, so I was a little bit worried about that. But you know, you gotta take risks sometimes, and I think judging by the cover, like you can tell it doesn't really look, even though when I picked this up I was surprised all her covers look alike, which I like that, but it's deceiving because you'd be like, oh, if this is a happy ending, then of course the other ones are going to have a happy ending. You pick 5 Feet Apart, and then your life is in shambles because you accidentally thought that it's going to be as cute as this one. So I really liked it. The fact that she wrote it with her wife is so freaking adorable to me, and just like, you can tell it's like a love letter to each other, and it's just super adorable and cute, and another one of my new favorites, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then after that I read an arc for a book that's coming out next month in June, and that is Valentina Salazar is Not a Monster Hunter. So when I first picked this up, it definitely reminded me of Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting, like the cover and the name of it, which I thought I was like, I gotta get it because I love that series. The funny thing though is, it's true, she's not a monster hunter, because when I saw that title I was like, okay, so she's not a monster hunter, I was like, she's gonna learn to be a monster hunter. But no, her family is from this long line of monster hunters, and her family in particular, her father, branched out from that family and became monster protectors instead. So they work on getting the monsters back to the realm that they belong to rather than just killing them outright. And the book starts with a few months after Valentina's father has died in a protecting mission gone wrong, and now her family's kind of given up on monster protecting, and she doesn't really see them anymore or hang out or do anything, and Valentina really, she can't give it up. She's researching stuff. She still wants to go and protect monsters because it's in her blood. And what they do is they decide to go on one final mission to stop this mysterious egg that this kid found from being unraveled on live television, and then people finding out that monsters exist, and just a series of misadventures follows after that. I really liked it. I will say that you could tell where the author was like trying to be Percy Jackson in some points and not reaching that. Like, it just there were some things where you're like, no person would ever actually say this. Like, this doesn't sound sarcastic and cool. This just sounds cringy. But for the most part, I really like the story. The things that bug me the most too, and this just bugs me in general because like as a former kid, I'm like, never thought this, is there's like 2 jokes in particular about like how when she's old and like a long time from now in the future, and then she's like 20 years from now, because that's what kids think of as the future, you know, is like when I'm old and decrepit at like 35. I'm like, no kid has ever thought that. Like, maybe they ask you what your age is and they think you're like 66, but they don't think like, oh, I'm gonna be so old when I'm 25. Like, calm down. So that annoyed me, but I really, really like the story, and I like the message of family and never turning your back on your family, and it could potentially be set up for a series. I don't know if it's gonna be, but I would definitely be interested to read more if it is, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the latest book I have finished is I never, ever, ever buy adult hardcover books. Like, it's not a thing. So when I picked this up at the library and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, I saw that it was $26, my jaw hit the floor. Like, I forgot how expensive books are nowadays, but it does have some heft to it. Like, there's definitely a difference between like this is a hardcover and like this is a hardcover. This is gonna like ward off an intruder if I scare them and throw it. This is gonna knock an intruder out if I throw it, you know what I mean? So yes, I read Portrait of a Thief, which is by Grace D. Lee, and this is her debut novel that's already being adapted into a Netflix series, which is gonna be so cool. I think it definitely reads like a Netflix thing, and gives me kind of like Six of Crows heisty vibes, you know, like they could pull off something like Shadow and Bone with this. I think will be really cool. So I wanted to read this for a while, and then what finally like made me be like, all right, go put this on hold at the library, was her sister makes the funniest freaking TikToks about this book and just like hypes her up continually. And there was one TikTok in particular where she was talking about that I was like, yeah, I gotta get this book because I gotta see. So it is from 5 different point of views, each one a member of the heist, which I think was really cool because it was like, it read really quick, where like each chapter is just a quick little thing about each of them, but they're all so integral to the story. And what I really liked was reading it, it took me a lot longer than I wanted to, just because I kept going back and rereading parts, because there's just so much to it. Like, one sentence could say something but mean like 5 other things, and it's just amazing. And there's also some really cute romances in it that I really, really liked and didn't anticipate. I don't know why I didn't, because like duh, but like just to me I was like, no, this is a heist novel, there's no romance in a heist. There's so romance in a heist, and I really, really loved it. I can't wait to see what else she writes, but my gosh, did you like, how did she wrote this amazing book. She's in med school, like no one's doing it like Grace right now, and I really, really liked it. So yeah, if you saw this and like haven't checked it out yet, I highly encourage you to check it out. It's a heist novel, but it's also about like identity and like what it means to be someone who is either not from America or who has family that is like first generation off the boat, or you know, like all that stuff, and it all adds up into the heist. It's beautiful, beautiful. And then I'm actually reading another arc right now, and this one comes out in July. It's called The Bodyguard, which I am super, super excited. I'm actually a pretty good amount of the way through it. I think I'm like this far through with it, so like I've only got this much left, so like halfway-ish, and I really, really love it. So I'm a sucker for bodyguard tropes, but this is the first time I've ever read where it's reversed, where the guy is the bodyguard E and the girl is the bodyguard S. Is that? No, that's not correct. But I really, really liked it. And what I like about this one too is like, you feel like sometimes when you read bodyguard novels, you're like, do you really like him, or are you just falling in love with the fact that like he's protecting you in a dangerous situation? But in this one so far, there's not really a dangerous situation. He's just got like this one stalker girl that is kind of an issue, but like not really. So they're really getting to like enjoy their time together, and like I really, really like the characters. So I'm hoping that it continues to be really good, and yeah, I will update you once I finish it. Now for the library books, which buckle in because it's gonna be a long ride. It's gonna be a long, long ride. So first up, I have Hotel Magnifique. I put this one on hold because it is the Owl Crate book from a couple months ago, and me and my friend try and do a little book club together every once in a while. When she gets an Owl Crate book that she really likes, I try and put it on hold. I don't really know what it's about. I know it's about a hotel. I know there's some magic that happens, and I'm interested to see what it's going to be, because I haven't really read like a circusy hotel motel like night circus kind of thing, you know, so we shall see what it is like. And yeah, I will keep you updated on that as well. Then I also have this new Harley Quinn novel. It's called Harlequin Reckoning by Rachel Allen. I just love, like, I don't know why DC has so many like YA novels that are published. Like Marvel, step up on that, because the only ones I know from Marvel are like the Mackenzie Lee ones, and those only come out like once every 3 years. But Harley Quinn is one of my favorite characters. I don't even know really what this book is about. I just saw Harley Quinn and clicked, and I'm super, super excited to read more about it, because like the rebrand that Harley Quinn has got recently, guys, where like everyone's like, fuck the Joker, like Harley Quinn's amazing, and let her like kill the Joker and just have an awesome girlfriend. It really feeds me. It feeds me, I'm gonna be honest. Then another book that I had, just because it's been on my list for a while, and then I was like, that cover needs to be in my life right now, is Magic Steeped in Poison. So the really cool thing about this is, I was telling my friend about this, and she's read it and really liked it, and she was like, you know, the second one's coming out in like August. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, there was like a mix up at the publisher, so like the first and second book are gonna come out the same year. And I'm like, heck to the izzle. So now not only will I be able to read this, but I won't have to wait that long for the second one, so it'll hopefully still be fresh in my mind, and not like other duologies where I forget every single thing that happens and then get the book and I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. But I'm really excited. The cover's adorably beautiful, and oh, yeah. I also put on hold this Rebel Heart. So this is one I've been wanting to read for a long, long time, like since it was announced probably. I don't even really know what it's about. That's kind of the theme of these things. Like I just kind of click on it and I'm like, pretty cover, and then I read like a faint description and I'm like, yep, got it. So this is a historical novel, which I don't really read historical novels at all. Like I just find them depressing. So like I read romance novels that are historical, but like I'm not reading those for the history, if you know what I mean. So I'm really, really interested to see what this one's going to be like. This cover is just beautiful, guys. Like look how gorgeous that is. And I'm excited to check it out, because it has been one that's been on my radar for a while. So I'm excited to see if it's going to be good. You know, like I said, I don't read too many historical novels, so I don't really have a little like, oh, it's gonna live up to like my favorite historical novel. Like, no, I don't have that. So I'm just interested to see what it's gonna be like. That was bag one of my library books, because literally I have 2 bags. So I also have this one, The Many Half-Lived Lives of Sam Sylvester. Wow, that's a mouthful. And this one is also just so freaking cute, and it's like a murder mystery, it's ghosts, it's romance, like it's got all the things that your girl loves and wants to like eat up. So I'm so sorry. I'm a little sick, I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now, and I already did this, so I'm just trying to like do it. So I'm excited to read this. I mean, they've got purple freaking hair, and it just, yeah, hopefully it's good. Hopefully, because I think it sounds really different and unique, and I'm just hoping that it lives up to the potential I've given it in my head. Then we also have Book of Night by Holly Black. Listen, y'all, I'm excited to read this, but I saw it in the store before I got it from the library, and seeing how small it was, I was like, Holly, you're gonna play us dirty like that? Like, this book is $29.99. This book is more than this one, Portrait of a Thief. And look, I guess they're like the same size, but I feel like not really. This one is definitely smaller, and this one is $1 more, and like, Holly. Then I have this one, which looks super freaking cute. Let me get rid of the receipt so you can actually see the cover. This May End Badly. It's just adorable. Contemporary YA romance I have not read in a hot second. I mean, aside from She Gets the Girl, but you know, I just think this is so cute, and it's got like the vibes that I love. It's a debut author, and speaking of excitement, I also have A Show for Two, which I'm really, really excited. I don't know why I did a Dracula voice for that. It's not about Dracula. This is another contemporary YA romance. I'm really churning it out, but you know, it's summertime. Summer's contemporary YA romance. It's the season. You gotta get out there. You gotta experience the things that I won't have in real life, which is love with someone cute. So, you know, that's how living vicariously through books while I'm outside. Just kidding, I'm not going outside because it's too hot out there. And then lastly, I have this book, which again, why are adult books so small? Like, I know the font is bigger, or smaller, I mean, like the font is a lot smaller, but first of all, my eyes can't take that. I've got old ass eyes. They can't take that when I'm like squinting to see it or whatever. Second of all, why are your books so damn expensive? This one is $26.99. What the I'm going to pay $26 for a book that's going to take up this much room. No, thank you. No, thank you, man. But I am excited for this book. It takes place in the 1920s, I think. Or, like, right when, like, when Hollywood was, like, terrible. Like, Hollywood is still terrible, but, you know, like, they didn't have rules, so, like, you could just pump people full of, like, drugs to keep them awake and then give them stuff to make them sleep and all that stuff. So it's, like, that time. But then there's monsters. And, like, the main character thinks there's, like, human monsters, but then it turns out there's also monsters. And I'm really excited to see what that's going to be like, because I don't read horror or like Lovecraftian, even I don't know if you could qualify that as Lovecraftian enough to like really enjoy it, but I'm really excited for it. So we'll see. Yeah, those are the books I've got. We don't have too many days left in May now that I'm having to refilm this, so we'll see which ones I actually end up getting through. But yeah, I will keep you updated on that front. So wrapping up the month of May, I ended up reading 6 books, which totaled up to around 1,800 pages. I definitely wish I could have been able to read more, and I honestly thought I was going to be able to read more, because within like the first like week and a half, I'd already read like 3 books, so I really thought I was going to be able to keep up that pace, but I just wasn't able to, unfortunately. I did get through a lot of books that I definitely wanted to and that have been on my TBR for a while. For example, Portrait of a Thief, and I also read Love Hypothesis. I was reading The Bodyguard for a while, and then I went on vacation and I didn't bring it with me, so then I was at my friend's house and I borrowed Love Hypothesis since she had that, and I read that and really liked it. I do have a full review of it up on my channel if you want to check that out. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I'll go back to The Bodyguard, I'm sure, and I only have like less than 100 pages left in it, so I'm sure I'll finish it in June, and that'll be a nice kickoff to June to like start off a book right away that I know I'm gonna finish. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, if you have read any of these books that I've mentioned this month and read, please feel free to leave your thoughts about them down in the comments. Also let me know what books you read this month, what books you really enjoyed, which books were disappointments, which new releases you're looking forward to, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in June. Bye!